This is bowling and basketball for the Magnavox Odyssey 2. And you know your game's in trouble when bowling for the Atari 2600 has much better physics and collision detection. But that's what we've got here with this disastrous bowling game. Bowling on the Magnavox does have one thing the Atari does not have: an exclamation point. See? This is just bowling. This is bowling! Maybe it's because bowling on the Atari doesn't muck about with basketball on the same game cartridge. Or maybe it's just that the Magnavox Odyssey 2 has its strengths, and physics and collision detection are not them.
As you know, on Classic Game Room, I love old games. I don't make fun of old games just to get a cheap laugh, but this game leaves me no choice. There is nothing resembling bowling in bowling with an exclamation point. Just like real bowling, the ball goes back and forth across the lane, and you push a button when you want it to go forward. And then you can control the spin at any point while it's going down the bowling lane, using the force. It has two speeds, slow and then stupid. Magnavox didn't seem to have very many third-party developers producing games for the Odyssey 2, which is kind of a shame, because many of the Magnavox games all look and sound and feel more or less the same, which works really well for games like KC Munchkin, KC's Crazy Chase. War of Nerves is a lot of fun. But any games that required collision detection and physics were just terrible.
Here are the official rules for bowling and basketball, and in traditional Magnavox Odyssey 2 fashion, the instruction manual looks really cool. And they don't quite lie to you on here. I thought they did, but they don't. Let's look at this closely. Bowling, a true electronic simulation. A true electronic simulation of what? They don't tell you. They're covering their own ass. However, here we go to basketball, and I like this one. So realistic, the court has a built-in gravity field. Well, so does the Starship Enterprise, and nobody would call it realistic. Clever marketing, guys. Good job. On the inside, they do their best job to explain how to play the game with as many sentences as possible, like usual for the Magnavox. And explain the scoring. They give you some nice graphics. They always had nice artwork in the Magnavox Odyssey 2 games. Too bad the game itself doesn't look anything like this.
So we're looking at a 2-player game of bowling. You could play up to a 4-player game, and just like the pinball game on Magnavox, each player gets a different color, and in this case, background. Now, how's that for collision detection? My bowling ball went right through the pins. I'm actually not sure if I got points for that or not. Frankly, I didn't really care. I was playing myself here to see if my blue side or green side would win. My sad side or my environmentally conscious side. I should have played a 3-player so I could have gotten red. My violent, angry side. Which is what I would have been had I paid more than 5 cents for this game. Which I didn't, so no problem. And I'm going green by keeping it out of a landfill. And instead, it's hanging out in my basement. But I doubt I'll be playing it again, because that makes me blue. I got a strike. I should get an extra frame. Oh, wait a second. No extra frame? F*** you.
If you're looking for games to play on the Odyssey 2, I'd pass on bowling and pick up War of Nerves. And look at that guy. There's no time for bowling when you're strangling people with tentacles.